hitting play to record, and let me share the screen. Okay, there you go.
Maha Mudra, the great attitude. Press the left heel into the perineum or vagina. Straighten the right leg, and with the hands firmly take hold of the outstretched foot. By locking the throat and retaining the breath, the prana rises straight, just like a snake beaten with a stick becomes straight. So the Kundalini Shakti becomes straight at once. Then the two, Ida and Pingala, become lifeless as the Shakti enters Sushumna. Then exhale slowly and gradually, not quickly. Indeed, this is described as Mahamudra by the great Siddhas. Although Mahamudra is a technique of Hatha yoga, it is also one of the Kriya yoga practices. It involves asana, kumbhaka, mudra, and bandha, and makes a powerful pranic lock which spontaneously arouses meditation. Sit with the right leg stretched in front. Bend the left knee and press the heel into the perineum or vagina. This posture is called Utthanapatasana. Exhale, lean forward and grasp the big toe of the right foot. Keep the head erect, eyes closed, and the back straight. Relax in the position. Perform Kachari Mudra, then slowly inhale, tilting the head slightly backwards, and perform Shambhavi Mudra. Gaze at the eyebrow center. Hold the breath inside Antara Kumbhaka and perform Mula Bandha, contraction of the perineum or cervix. Rotate your awareness from the eyebrow center to the throat and base of the spine, mentally repeating Ajna, Vishuddhi, Muladhara, or Shambhavi, Kachari, Mula, while retaining the breath. Continue for as long as you can hold the breath without straining. Then close the eyes, release Mula Bandha, lower the head into its normal position, and exhale slowly. This is one round. Practice 3 times with the left leg folded. Change the position and do it on the right side 3 times. Then keep both legs stretched in front as in Paschimottanasana, and again perform the practice 3 times. Mahamudra should be done after asana and pranayama and before meditation. You should only increase the number of rounds when instructed by your teacher or guru. Technique 2. If you cannot sit comfortably in Uttanapadasana, you can practice in Siddhasana and Siddha Yoni Asana. Sit with the hands on the knees in Jnana or Chin Mudra and practice in the same way but without bending forward. Practice 5 to 10 times. The Kriya yoga practice of Mahamudra incorporates Ujjayi Pranayama, Kachari Mudra, awareness of Arahan and Awarohan passages and the chakras, and Unmani Mudra. The Hatha Yoga variation is a good preparation for the Kriya Yoga technique, which should not be attempted without the Guru's instruction. Verse 14, Mahamudra removes the worst afflictions, the 5 kleshas, and the cause of death. Therefore, it is called the great attitude by the ones of highest knowledge. From the practice of Mahamudra, the combined benefits of Shambhavi Mudra, Mula Bandha, Kumbhaka, Paschimottanasana, and Utthanapadasana are gained. In the Yoga Chudamani Upanishad, it says, Mahamudra is a practice which purifies the entire network of nadis. Balance Ida and Pingala and absorb rasa or health-giving fluid so that it pervades one's entire being. Mahamudra clears the nadis and particularly stimulates the flow of Sushumna. It increases one's vitality, stimulates digestion, and harmonizes all body functions. It also increases one's awareness, brings about clarity of thought, and helps one to overcome depression.
Do we need to pause? Are we good?
I'm not good. So what is Maha Mudra? I mean, exactly what is it? It's if you look it up, it says it's practicing Mula Bandha, Shambhavi, and Kachari mudras simultaneously.
So I've always learned it Maha Mudra as the locking the 3 locks. So locking the Mula Bandha, the Uddiyana Bandha, and the Jalahara Bandha. That being Mala Bandha, Mala Mudra.
Yeah.
Or Mala, I learned it as Maha Bandha, which is the 3 locks. This is teaching us Maha Mudra, which they're calling it the Great Attitude. And I guess the way this author is saying is this shape here, where he the student is folding the right leg in and folding over the left leg.
Okay.
And while the person's doing that, they're engaging the root lock and bringing its third attention to the third eye.
But this is it one of those things where you get into the pose and breathe, then lock the 3 locks, and then direct your gaze towards the third eye, and then unlock the 3 locks, exhale? Is that the procedure?
Well, so this author isn't saying to lock the 3 locks, I don't think.
I'm sort of wondering why bother mentioning the 3 locks then?
Because I've not, well, I think I probably did confuse you when I said that. So I have never learned Maha Mudra. I don't know if you remember in the last chapter when we were talking about the locks, they described each lock being that, the bandha being the bandha. And then, but the 3 of them together, I thought she described as this mudra. So locking the 3 of them together, but and I might be confused, but I had learned doing the 3 of them together wasn't necessarily a lock, but a mudra.
Okay.
But this author is describing Maha Mudra as not locking the 3 locks. She's describing Maha Mudra as this idea of, and she's just offering this shape. She says, if you can't get into this shape, to come into that Siddhi Asana, Siddhi Yona Asana, which we learned at the beginning, and for me would just basically be easy seat.
So it says, although Maha Mudra is a technique of Hatha yoga, it involves asana, kumbhaka, mudra, and bandha, and makes a powerful pranic lock, which spontaneously arouses meditation. So that sounds to me like if it involves, what does it involves mean? I mean, are those locks or automatically triggered when you get into this pose?
Well, so when she says it involves asana, this shape is an asana. It's half Paschimottanasana.
Right.
Kumbhaka is the retention of the breath.
Right.
Mudra, she offers the mudra being gazing at the third eye, and the bandha would be locking the root lock. I think she mentions to lock the root lock. Yeah, Mula Bandha at the bottom. So if you read through technique 1, it says perform Kachari Mudra, then slowly inhale, tilting the head slightly backwards, and perform Shambhavi Mudra, which is that gazing at the third eye, the eyebrow center. And then the retention being holding the breath in, Antar Kumbhaka, and perform Mula Bandha. contraction of the perineum or cervix. So I don't think she mentioned locking the throat lock or the belly lock.
Well, on page 291, if you go to the second paragraph, I'll call it, by locking the throat and retaining the breath, the prana rises straight, just like a snake beaten with a stick becomes straight. So
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier. That's how I had learned the Maha Bandha as that, locking the 3 locks. And this is just one technique. Maybe she'll come into. No, I don't see any other ones. Well, and this is like we're talking about too. Like, there's going to be different traditions and techniques for this.
Whatever. She's awake.
okay, thank you, Pam.
Is that more confusing?
I think what I need to do is to read page 292 and 293 more closely. It's just this, sometimes when this author reviews the techniques, it's a little bit clearer of almost like a recipe than it is now in this.
Yeah. No, I get it too. It's the techniques are hard. We've been having that issue with this from the beginning of the book with the asanas.
Thank you, Sue, because I read through it and then something I don't know, I say, oh, well, it was the first time I read it. I'll go back again. But when you bring up these issues, I get it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so I'm happy to share my confusion with anybody.
No, it's not. It brings light to it and then you understand it better. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
And I found my book. I don't know if that helps you. Are we on 295?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
where we are.
And just to review, the Kachari mudra is the tongue. Is a tongue mudra.
Okay, I'm glad. Is that where the tongue touches the roof of the mouth?
Oh, you mean Kahari? What I'm calling Kahari?
Yeah, Kahari. I don't know. You could be saying it. I don't know the right
Oh,
if there is a right way. Kahari mudra.
Kachari. Okay, either
Kachari
Kachari or Kahari.
I think it's Kachari Mudra.
Oh,
Kachari.
Kachari? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda, is that the one where you touch the tongue at the top of your?
Yeah, it's like when you yawn, or it's an automatic thing that happens and your tongue curls back and goes up into the nasal passage.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, so we're on verse 15 now?
Yes.
Okay.
After practicing on the left side, practice on the right side. When the number of rounds is even, discontinue and release the mudra. As in all asana and pranayama practices, it is important to practice an equal number of times on both sides. Some people have misinterpreted this sloka by saying the practice should be done first by breathing through the left nostril and later the right. The words indicating left side are chandra, anga. Chandra is moon, anga, part, limb. Chandra is moon, anga, part, limb or side. Chandra can also mean Ida Nadi or the left nostril. Similarly, Surya Anga indicates the right side. Surya or sun is Pingala Nadi and can mean the right nostril. Thus, there is some discrepancy whether a particular side of the body or flow of breath is being intimated. However, it should be understood that the correct method of practicing Mahamudra is with the left leg folded first and then the right leg. Let us examine this from a practical point of view. How can you possibly practice comfortably while holding the nose and the toes? It may be possible to breathe in through the left nostril while sitting straight, but it is not usual to practice in such a way. You should breathe through both nostrils and hold the toes of the outstretched leg with both hands. After practicing 3 to 12 rounds on one side, the same number of rounds should be performed on the other side. Then the same number of rounds should be repeated with both legs stretched in front of the body. For one who practices Maha Mudra, there is nothing wholesome or unwholesome. Anything can be consumed. Even the deadliest of poisons is digested like nectar. Through the practice of Maha Mudra, digestion and assimilation of both food and prana are stimulated. Although it is said that the practitioner can even consume deadly poisons and be unaffected, it would surely take many years of practice to achieve this state. The benefits of Maha Mudra are equal and above those of Mayurasana, and it is essentially more dynamic on a pranic and psychic level.
Wait, I want to look up what this.
Are you looking up Mayurasana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
So I feel like we
found it.
mentioned.
I found it.
Okay.
Peacock pose.
Yeah, I think. Yep. Go ahead.
Advanced posture of Hatha yoga, which awakens Manipura chakra, includes balancing the body on the hands.
Yeah. So at the beginning of this book, they went into detail. I don't know if you remember, Sue, on Mayurasana. I was just confused as to why it all of a sudden just got thrown in right there.
Yeah.
But remember how powerful they were talking at the beginning of the book of that pose, and they were talking about one of the, I think it was a sage or some sort of teacher that they named it after. So I think she's just comparing this Maha Mudra to that pose, because she did go into detail. If you flip back to the beginning of the book, you'll see.
Yeah, it's on page 94-ish. Yeah, this is one of those poses that I have only seen it done once.
Ooh.
Not at Revolution, in Malvern, by this guy who had been practicing yoga for a very long time, a very unassuming, wonderfully gentle guy. And I was a newbie at the time. And he was just, I'm sitting there opening my mouth and drooling, and he was just so, it was very impressive. And he looked at me and said, "Sue, I've been doing yoga for 30 years." I said, okay. But what a powerful pose this looks like. Okay, so yeah, I get it.
Can you, this pose looks pretty easy. I'm just confused about the locks. Can you go over that?
This you mean for Maha Mudra?
Yeah.
So in what this author is saying is, in this shape, you're going to extend the left leg, fold the right leg in, and then fold over the left leg. See how the person's reaching for the toes, if you can. And then you're going to lock the root lock, which is the root lock at the base of the spine. And then she is saying, oh no, first you're going to come into the shape and do the tongue lock. And then you're going to tilt the head slightly backward and gaze at the center eyebrow. I always call that space the third eye because that's just how I've always been taught it. But I was reading something over the weekend, and I don't know, and it was saying how it's not really the third eye, that it's the center space of the eyebrow. So I have to do more digging on that. So bringing your gaze to the center space of the eyebrow and perform Shambhavi. Oh no, we just did that. And now you're gonna take an inhale, and you're gonna hold the breath in and hold the root lock. So if you're doing it in the order that she's saying, you're gonna get into the shape, you're gonna do the tongue, you're gonna look at the third eye, you're gonna inhale, hold the breath, and lock the root.
Now, right now, as I'm sitting here, my tongue automatically is doing that, right? So do I need to hold pressure and like give it, like tense it up and lock it, or just keep it in that position?
So
So this particular mudra is something that occurs naturally as you advance in your practice. It's a very advanced mudra. It's not something that's done intentionally.
Okay.
As Kundalini rises up the spine of Sushumna, it just happens on its own. There are some sects of yogis who believe that they can do it intentionally, and they cut the bottom of their tongue to get the tongue up there. But I was taught that's not how it's supposed to be done. It's it'll just happen one day. It's like a sneeze, like, you know how you just there's a reflex where you sneeze. You'll be meditating and there's a reflex where it just curls into the back of your throat.
Okay. Mahamudra should be done after asana and pranayama and before meditation. We did that, no?
yeah,
Before-
no, oh sorry, yeah.
Okay.
I was just rereading a different.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I
I
think we're
couldn't move to me.
I think, let me just see. Yeah, we're good. We can read this one and then we'll pause.
Verses 17 and 18. Abdominal disorders, constipation, indigestion, and leprosy are alleviated by the practice of Mahamudra. This Mahamudra has been described as the giver of great cities. It must be kept secret and not disclosed to anyone. Mahamudra stimulates the Shakti in the energy circuit from Muladhara to Ajna chakra, and its effects can be strongly felt on a psychic level. Physiologically, it stimulates the digestive capacity. Chronically, it generates circulation of energy in the chakras. Psychologically, it develops the mind and inner awareness, and psychically, it arouses receptivity. Mahamudra rapidly eliminates mental depression as it removes all energy blockages, which are the fundamental cause of the problem. The practice stills the mind and the body and increases one's sensitivity to subtle experiences. It is therefore a highly recommended and powerful preparatory practice for meditation.
I think we should pause.
Okay.
Oh, here, look, Sue, shows go into Mahabandha in the next
Right now.
chapter. So there's Mahamudra, which we just went over, and then next tomorrow, I guess we can get into Mahabandha. But I think we should pause here so we can chat and then do breath and then meditate.
Well, this is a little sidebar, but I just, I'm voting tomorrow morning and I'll get in line at 5:45, but if I don't show up, it means lines were crazy.
I get it.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. I am voting tomorrow morning.
Yeah, so if Sue, if you can't get on, we can if you can't get on, I can still join and meditate with everyone, but maybe we pause reading just so that you don't miss it.
Well,
Or
Sue, you could bring your headphones too and listen in while you're waiting online for 5 hours.
You know, Amanda, that's a wonderful thing. I'm wondering how I'm going to cart my porta potty along with me, though. That's a
You need a little wagon, maybe.
little wagon with a mini. Well, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that. I will take my headphones and I'll be able to listen. And that's great. That's
If you're still in line, you might need us more than ever.
I was gonna bring you guys with me that day, but it was too long, so I ended up not going. But
yeah. Yeah, well, it took you how many tries? 4 tries before you could vote?
Yeah, but I tried a lot of different places with the early voting. Tomorrow's actually election day, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
And
so
my experience with even when Obama was elected, when a lot of people were in line and voting, if I get there at like 10 of 6, it's usually okay.
Okay, you'll probably be fine.
They still have donuts also, so.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I will. So Amanda has her Revolution newsletter out, and I read it this morning, and it's awesome. So it's a nice reminder. So maybe
Oh,
if you
thanks,
have time
Pam.
today. What?
Oh, thanks, Pam.
Yeah. So it'll be a nice reminder before you're heading into long lines to read that.
Okay, I'm gonna read it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And if you didn't get it and you want it, just let us know. We'll forward it to you.
Okay.
So, and are we good? Should we set up for meditation on breath? I have to get us back to staying on time because I'm getting super busy at work. So let's find a nice tall seat. Just bringing awareness to the breath. Begin to relax the face. Begin to lengthen the inhales and deepen the exhales. And bringing your right hand over to your face. Close your right nostril with your right thumb. Inhale through your left. Close your left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Taking a few more rounds on your own breath, adding retention if it's in your practice. And taking your time to finish, we'll do a few rounds of Bumblebee Breath. Make sure you exhale out of your left nostril on alternate nostril breathing. To set up for Bumblebee Breath, you'll take your ears to close, your thumbs to close your ears, your first 2 fingers to close your eyes. You can stay like this if you want to close your nostrils with your ring finger. And you'll take a deep breath in. And you'll make a humming sound as you exhale at the back of your throat with your lips sealed. And you'll feel vibrations in your body. And you can do 5 rounds. I'm gonna set the timer. Bringing hands together in front of your heart. Namaste.
Namaste.
Have a good day.
You too. Take care. See you mañana.
Thank you. You too.